You ever feel like you're on a treadmill and someone just keeps cranking up the speed? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. So today, we're going to dive into the wisdom of the Korean Zen master, Sunim, to try and figure out how to find our balance in a world that just won't slow down. Let's see how some ancient wisdom might just be the lifeline we need.
And this is the reality Sunim starts with. I mean, think about it. It's not just that things are changing, because let's be real, they always have. It's the speed of it, the scale of it. It's on a level humanity has literally never seen before. It feels like the rulebook for life is getting a brand new edition every single morning.
Which, leads to the big question for all of us, right? When everything out there is just a blur of constant motion, where do you find your footing? How are you supposed to build a life, or heck, even just find 5 minutes of peace, when the very ground beneath your feet feels like it's shaking?
Okay, so this brings us to our first major point, really grappling with the dizzying speed of modern life. And we're talking about something more than just, oh, I'm so busy. Sunim points to this as a fundamental challenge, like to our actual well-being.
And this right here, this really gets to the heart of the problem. I mean, we spend so much of our energy just reacting. Reacting to emails, to the news cycle, to whatever the next big thing is. And the idea of doing any kind of proactive inner work, self-cultivation, it feels like a total luxury we just don't have time for. It's exactly like trying to meditate in the middle of a hurricane. Good luck with that.
But what if the answer isn't about stopping the hurricane? I mean, what if it's about finding the eye of the storm inside of you? And that, right there, is where this core concept of the way comes into play.
So in Korean, this is called do. And listen, this isn't about running away from reality or, hiding out in a monastery. Not at all. It's a deep state of inner awareness. Think of it like developing an unshakable internal center of gravity. It's so strong that no matter how nuts things get on the outside, you stay centered. You can actually respond with clarity instead of just, blindly reacting to everything. And that is the central promise right there. It's an incredibly empowering idea, isn't it? The goal isn't to control the world, because that's impossible, but to cultivate something inside you that makes you able to handle it, no matter what it throws your way. So how do you find this way?
Well, according to Sunim, it's not about some single magic bullet answer. Nope. The path is actually a lot more like a ladder. It's something that's meant to be climbed, one step at a time.
And this all points to a really fascinating story. So right after the Buddha's enlightenment, he was ready to share his biggest, most profound insight. It's this super deep teaching called the Sutra, all about how everything is interconnected. But it was just way too advanced. It was literally like trying to teach quantum physics to a bunch of kindergartners. Nobody got it.
So the Buddha had to pivot. Smart guy. He started over, right at the basics, with a foundational set of teachings called the Agama Sutras. And these were all about simple, relatable stuff, like cause and effect. He basically built a solid ground floor so that, over time, people could gradually build their way up, and eventually, they could reach that really profound, ultimate teaching.
And this illustrates a really key point. Using Sunim's analogy, the foundational teachings, they're like primary school. They're absolutely essential. But you're not supposed to stay in primary school forever, right? The whole point is to graduate, to keep learning, to keep climbing that ladder. Getting comfortable with the basics is great, but the real growth, that happens when you keep going.
Which brings us to a really subtle but incredibly powerful danger on the path. And that's the trap of our own achievement.
So check this out. In the famous Diamond Sutra, this really fascinating question gets asked. It comes from an arahat, and that's someone who has already achieved personal enlightenment. So he looks over at the bodhisattvas, who are also enlightened, but have this vow to help everyone else awaken. And he notices they seem to be practicing with this greater, more effortless wisdom. He's basically asking, hey, we both passed the final exam, so how come they're still getting better and we've kind of hit a wall?
And the Buddha's answer boils down to this one crucial concept, asang. Now, this isn't your everyday ego. It's way more specific. It's a kind of spiritual ego. It's that subtle pride, that attachment to the idea of me as an enlightened person. It's that little voice that says, I did it. I've attained this. And that very thought, it becomes a beautiful golden cage. It stops you from growing any further.
So let's really look at the difference here. For the arhat, enlightenment can feel like a final destination, a personal trophy to be polished and protected. And that attachment, that asang,
is what creates the plateau. But the bodhisattva, they see enlightenment completely differently. For them, it's a continuous journey, and it's for the benefit of everybody. Their focus is always outward, on others, and that's what keeps them humble, and it's what ensures they never ever stop growing.
So, okay, given our ridiculously fast-paced world and all these subtle traps we can fall into on the path, what does Sunim actually recommend? What's the most effective practice for us today? Well, the answer is a direct path, Sen.
He specifically points to something called Gunghwa Sen, which is a form of Korean Zen meditation. Now, it's called a direct path for a reason. It's designed to help you slice right through all the endless intellectual gymnastics and get to a direct, personal, experiential insight into your own true nature. And this is the really important part. Sunim makes it super clear this is not just for monks living in a monastery. This is a path for everyone, right in the thick of our messy, chaotic, modern lives.
And this really brings us to the ultimate point of this entire practice. It's not about becoming something new, it's about discovering something that's, well, already inside you.
You see, Sunim draws this beautiful, powerful distinction. On one hand, you have the world of phenomena. That's everything we experience, our thoughts, our emotions, the news, everything. It's like a fast-flowing river, always churning, always changing. But underneath that current, there's the riverbed. That is your true nature. It's completely still. It's unchanging. It has always been there. It was never born, and it can never, ever disappear.
And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Your job isn't to create stillness. You don't have to somehow build it from scratch. It's simply to discover the profound stillness that's already there, at your core, right underneath all the surface-level chaos. The world, yeah, it's going to keep changing. The current will keep flowing. But that unchanging core inside you, that's your anchor.
And so, we'll leave you with this question to carry with you. As you go about your day, in the middle of all the emails, the notifications, the rush, can you find it? Can you feel that quiet, still, unchanging part of yourself? Because according to this wisdom, that right there, that is the true source of stillness in a world of speed.